Welcome to another edition of
Epic Guns.
Today, we've decided to try pistol caliber carbines. Seems to be the hottest new sport in shooting.
Absolutely, and a lot of technology has gone into the development of these carbines. We have three in three different calibers. We have a Chris Vector in 45 ACP, a Ruger PC9 carbine in 9mm, and
my favorite, the M1 carbine.
Now, these are all really great cutting-edge devices here. The Chris, like I said, makes use of all kinds of new modern technology. It's built of steel and plastic. The Ruger PC9 is the same thing, and this is the one that got the whole thing started.
Pretty much, yeah. Designed by a guy in prison, no less.
Carbine Williams, man.
Yeah, or Jimmy Stewart, depending on how you feel.
I'm going to go with the Jimmy Stewart. Anyway.
Yeah, better looking, yeah.
He had a better speaking voice.
Well, there's that.
You could hear him on camera. So listen, here we are in a beautiful wintry Southern California day, as you can tell by the fact that we're wearing short sleeves.
Yeah, and my Trump hat.
There's an election coming up. We'll see how that goes for future generations. Anyway, we're going to test these things back to back to back, and I think we might find a surprise or two in the middle of all this testing. But right now, let's start shooting.
All right. First up is the Chris Vector. Now, for some of you that aren't in California, this may look a little odd. This is the California version after all. We're shooting at steel targets at about 40 yards.
First up for me, the Chris Vector. Now this is the latest, greatest, and most cutting edge of all these carbines. There's all kind of mechanical trickery. You've got a counterweight to the bolt going down in here. You got these modern diamond type sights. I've never fired one of these things. I'm frankly kind of excited to give this thing a try. This one's in 45 ACP, a hard hitting cartridge. Let's see how she goes.
Next up, the Ruger PC carbine. Oh, hell's bells. He put in more than 6.
Next up for me is the Ruger PC9 carbine. This is just as simple as can be. It's a straight blowback carbine. I love the barrel shrouding on this thing. I think it makes it look very, very cool, like a 1932 German submachine gun. Semi-automatic. This should be a good shooter. And it is!
Next up, Winchester M1 carbine. Early 1 million serial number, early flip sight, no bayonet lug, Winchester stock. I haven't shot this gun. I'm dying to get it going. Woo.
We need some lube. Next up for me, this is the M1 carbine. I'm really excited to do this. This is Jeff. I don't know where the hell Jeff got this thing, but come on, man. It's got the freaking military stampings. It's an early one. This is a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant carbine, and I'm handling a piece of history. She's 78 years old today. Let's see how it goes.
And lastly, a Uberti 1873 and 357. It has been boogieized.
So seeing as how we're talking about carbines, Jeff and I thought it would be kind of fun to bring out the original carbine. This is an 1873 Winchester clone. And let's see if it shoots as well as the more modern iterations, shall we? I don't feel like we're giving up a lot to the more modern carbines. Okay, in an attempt to emulate real-world conditions, Jeff and I are going to be shooting at targets spaced about within carbine range. So you got some CQB targets up close at mid-level, and you got one out there just a little bit past the 50-yard line. Again, starting with the Chris and its high technology recoil buffer.
Six rounds on paper. Chris Vector 45.
And now the soft shooting, vintage looking, but completely modern Ruger PC9 carbine. I do like this.
Next up, the Ruger PC9. I think I pulled that last one.
And now, Grandpa here, the M1 carbine, a battle-tested platform adopted by the U.S. military because apparently pistols are difficult to shoot. Who knows? The sights are a little bit difficult to see against these black targets, I'm not going to lie. This is a nice shooting carbine.
Next up, M1 carbine. Wow, is that hard to pick up on that last target? Woof.
And now, if the M1 carbine is the granddaddy, this has got to be the great-great-great-granddaddy. 1873 Winchester lever-action carbine. Let's see how she goes. I do like this one.
Last but not least, we got the little U-Birdie carbine. Gun I'm a little more familiar with, and a much friendlier front sight. Let's see how it goes. I think I did better.
Hey, no muss, no fuss. First up, 7-yard target, the breadbasket. As I expect, again, with the lever action carbine, easy to shoot both close. We'll see how it goes as we get further away. Not quite as impressive as I hoped for, but you got well, 1 of the 10, 1 of the 9. Again, that's moving out to about 15 yards, and not bad for a 130-year-old platform. The biggest difference for us is as we move past 50 yards, I do have a more visible sight on the lever action carbine, so the little tiny brass bead is actually easier to see against the black target. So I actually did my best shooting with, again, a 150-year-old platform.
Okay, so the white ones are the Chris Vector, the black ones are the PC9, the orange ones are the 30 carbine, and that's the U-Birdie, which, as you probably noticed, I shot a heck of a lot quicker than the rest of them. So, a little farther out, this was the 45, those two are the 9, whoops, these two are the carbine, and again with the lever gun here and here. Apparently I do better with a 45. Okay, again, these are 45s. Here's my 9s. Remember I said I thought I pulled one? Just barely got on. This one and this one are the M1 carbine, and these two are the lever action.
I'm out of ammunition. How many rounds did you put in there?
I cheated! Ah! I put in 10. What do you want from me? He beat me last week. I wasn't having that again.
What have we proven with this test? Shooting stuff is fun.
And I like the PC carbine.
And if you ain't cheating,
And
You ain't
if
trying.
Ruger could make this in 45, I tell you, it would be a slam dunk.
And there you have it, our test of not 3, but we fudged a little bit, 4 carbines by bringing out the 1873 Winchester.
Yep.
Okay, first up, the Chris. What did you think?
Shoots well, very accurate. Recoil a little bit much with such a small frame.
It recoiled more than I thought it would, too.
Yeah.
How did you like the diamond sights?
I actually like the sights a lot. I had less problems with those than I did per se the gun that I actually like better, the Ruger.
How about the trigger?
Trigger was fine. The barrel kind of cumbersome because of California. You got to have this big fake suppressor thingy on it. Yeah.
And what'd you say? All of this trickery, I didn't feel like it reduced the recoil an enormous amount, but apparently, like you said, that's intended for its full automatic use.
What they did is they kind of took the old Luger, where it toggles up, and they pointed it down, so it's supposed to pull down. In a full auto, I've seen this in action on TV, not in real life.
If anybody out there in video land has one and they would like us to try it,
give us a call.
we traveled.
Yeah. Have gun, will travel. Anyhow, overall, I liked it pretty well.
Feature packed. I agree with absolutely everything you said. The trigger, I have no cognizance of the trigger, which means it was not annoying.
Correct.
It's got the little Picatinny rails. You could put all kinds of things. I think with the fiber optic or red sight, this would be a winner.
Yeah.
The black sights against the black target.
Little tough.
I am. It's at my age, certainly, it's a little bit tough to see. So, by the way, side note: if you're going to attack me, if you're a thug who intends to attack either myself or Jeff, if you would wear a brightly colored clothing,
we'd appreciate.
We would appreciate that. Thank you very much. PC Carbine.
PC Carbine, absolutely loved it. I mean, excuse me, next to no recoil whatsoever. Again, I'd be happier with a brighter, at least front sight, but just
Ruger?
just nothing wrong with it at all.
Functionality, I'm right there with you. The trigger was good. It's simple and easy to use. I think the looks are. The Chris has got that kind of that Star Wars thing. This is it's such
just
a cool
plain
look.
and simple. You know, it breaks apart. Pop it in your
Right.
backpack.
Of the carbines.
I'm definitely going with this guy, as I did in the shoot-off. Plus it takes Glock mags if you switch it over.
Oh my
It'll
God,
take
yeah.
Ruger or Glock, and
Those are fairly
you know,
ubiquitous.
during Freedom Week, and since I am a gun dealer, I managed to somehow acquire about 250 high-cap.
Normal capacity magazines.
Thank you very much. M1 carbine.
Just having my hands on this thing, and you're pointing out, you got the arsenal markings.
It's a choice carbine.
That it is a really to have my hands on this piece of history was outstanding. It's really easy to shoot. It's really handy. As we go into troubled times, a lot of people are buying carbines because, again, allegedly they're easier to shoot than pistols. I really think that we would have shot our pistols out to 50 meters as well as it did. Anyway, but this thing, it absolutely does everything that these do.
Yeah. I only had one little issue, and being a lefty, you know, my hand goes through and over all of that. So had I been in combat, the sling would have come right off. So I could have shot it a little bit better.
I liked every part of it, though, and it's a good hard hitting round.
And again, it's a Winchester, and it's got the parts hard to beat. Okay, and lastly,
the 1873 Winchester. Now, in fairness, Jeff and I probably have more time in on this platform
a little bit
than any other, but it's got so much going for it. But these have been heavily modified by our good buddy Shotgun Boogie.
Yep.
It's got highly visible brass bead front sight.
Yeah, when you're shooting at that,
really made a
40
difference.
yarder, it was a big difference.
And so it's easy for the first 10 shots, but when it's time for a reload or something like that, then you're back to one of the modern carbines.
Yeah.
I think we both decided
Ruger today is going to be the winner. Yeah.
But at the same time, this one, what is 73 years old or 78 years old? 78 years old. If you want a gun that you can pass down for generations,
and have
it's still working.
Yep.
But after all of that is said and done, for me, Ruger PC Carbine. And that concludes another episode of Epic Guns.
Want to thank everybody, Scott and the kid here, for helping us out today. Again, the Ruger PC9 is the way to go. As far as these guys, don't forget, tune in every Sunday morning to KABC 790 AM radio for the Gunslinger Hour, or you can pick it up on iHeartRadio all over the United States. We're on Facebook.
Facebook Live, so you can listen in and watch us as we sit still behind our cameras and behind our microphones.
Because we are nothing if something not to watch.
So tune in, listen in, you can even call in.
Okay. We'll see you guys next week. Don't forget, get out and vote. Vote the right way, damn it. Or we'll be seeing you. Okay, that concludes another episode of
Epic Guns.
We need to do that in harmony one of these days.
Epic Guns.
Epic Guns.
Epic Guns.